I get asked a lot of times, what do you do, Gaggle guy? So let me explain. We really work with two types of school districts, right? Districts that aren't happy with the current learning management system or are looking for a web hosting solution. The other type of district is a district that's using Google Apps for Education or Office 365, and we provide safety management for those cloud-based productivity tools. So let me explain what safety management is, right? When we put kids on Google Apps for Education, they're communicating with the outside world. It's like we've created a playground for them and the outside world to interact, and things happen on that network, and we as educators are responsible for keeping them safe, right? So I think we need to take responsibility for what they're doing on these platforms, right? It's a lot of learning, but there's other things that happen too, and we need to protect them. I believe there's both an ethical reason to do that and a legal reason, because the Children's Internet Protection Act has some requirements that pretty much tell you you need to do this. Not quite. But rather than hear me talk about it, well, I should explain a little bit how we do that. It's a combination of technology, all the files and email, all the communications funnel through our system. We scan it for inappropriate words and phrases. We look for pornographic images. All that is flagged content, but we don't put that on the teachers to review. We have a team of people that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week are reviewing that and then intervening with the student or contacting the district when something happens. But rather than have me talk about it, I want to share with you some real stories that are happening on these platforms.
A student was sharing a file with another friend, and she was saying how much she hated her life, how she didn't want to continue. She felt like no one cared enough to help her with her cutting issues, let alone stop her from acting on her suicidal thoughts. She signed off the file saying, "This is goodbye forever." So we notified the school. The school immediately contacted her parents. They were able to intervene, and then the school was also able to connect her with a counselor to help.
This girl was talking to a friend via her Gaggle email account about something that happened over a weekend using a Keep app. A man, boy, somebody she did not know the identity of, age of, location of, had messaged her on the Keep app and was saying some pretty vile things to her. He also sent a nude picture of himself to her, and she was pretty disgusted, and he asked her to send one to him. And she refused, and he continued to send pictures of himself to her, and eventually he even threatened to come to her house and rape her. The only reason we caught this is because the Gaggle filter caught the word rape in the email from the girl talking to her friend. She was very scared. She didn't know what to do or who to talk to or how to report it. It's just one way Gaggle can help parents and teachers by catching these conversations as they come through when they're discussing things that happen to them outside of school hours or outside of Gaggle.
We had an email flagged, and it was a social media notification where someone was sending a student a photograph of a violent assault, and it was a terrible picture. It was extremely violent. And with the photograph was a note saying, "This is what you're going to look like when I get done with you." We were able to intervene, call the school, and they were able to act on that information. A student had posted on a social media site their entry into a hottest teen contest. They had over 800 blocked messages, personal attacks on her appearance and what her perceived personality was, to really threats of violence, threats of rape, really some seriously horrific stuff. So we were able to notify the school district. They were able to call the police, get the police involved, and make sure that this girl was safe.
We did have a student receiving messages from an unknown Yahoo user. It was another instance where he was sending inappropriate images of himself to this person. In instances like that, we get to work with NCMEC, where we report those images to NCMEC, and they give it to the proper authorities to take it from there. Even though we're seeing images coming through, the students aren't. We stop them before the students see them. You don't realize how prominent some problems are in society when you don't see it every day. We do see a lot of shocking things I would never have thought of seeing kids that age talk about or have to deal with.
So that's what we do, and I think it's important, and I'm proud of it. Thank you.